Alright, what's up guys? This is the Horrifying Night's Crime Show. So today we are going to be actually getting into my favorite part for the first time ever. We are not talking about real crime with serial killers and all that stuff. We are getting into the paranormal side of the killers. So I'm actually going to talk a lot about from Conjuring 2, talk about the book for Amityville, but episode 10 will be focusing just on the films that talked about Amityville, more about the books and stuff. But today I'm going to talk about sort of the first parts of the paranormal case. I will be talking about my own opinions on the case as well, just change it up a little bit. So I am going to just tell you guys right now, change it up a little bit. I'm just going to tell you guys right now, season 5 will have 13 episodes. That will be the most since season 1? Season 2. Season 2 had 14 episodes. So, and then every season after that, 3 and now 4, this season, will have 10. But next season will have 13 because it is the 5th season. So I will be talking about the Manson family. That will be the first thing I talk about. That will be 4 parts. H.H. Holmes, which will be America's first, most people recognize H.H. Holmes as the first serial killer in the United States. If you hear that sound, my dog, he itches his ear, don't know why, and then he moans and groans, and then he looks at his paw like, why did you do that? I don't know. So, talk about the Manson family, 4 parts. H.H. Holmes, that'll be 4 to 5 parts. And then the last one, change it up even more. I will be getting into one of my shows. Change it up a little bit. The reason why I changed it to the Horrifying Night's Crime Show is that I don't just want to talk about real crimes and all that stuff. Talk about fake crimes. Talk about my own series and all that stuff. And I think every single season from here on out, I'm going to talk about one of my killers and stuff like that. And that will be 5 parts. But today is about the paranormal side of the Amityville case. So, other than the murders themselves, the paranormal case has outlived the murder case easily. When people hear Amityville, they immediately think of the movies, and they think of Ed and Lorraine Warren. They think about the paranormal side of the case. People don't really talk about. When I did the 2-parter for the thing, I could have actually finished the entire case in one day, in one episode. But obviously, I like to branch this out and stuff like that. So, and I am probably going to start in season 6 doing 2 cases, 5 parts each. For season 6, I was thinking about, I think I'm going to do probably the BTK killer and probably the Manus Man. And just do those 2 cases, and that's it. And then season 7 do, I think, maybe the Night Stalker, and then the Poolside Killer, and then just go from there. Cause I think that would be a lot easier for me than taking 2 weeks off and all that stuff. I think that would be a lot easier and branching it out. So Ed and Lorraine Warren. So obviously the murders happened in 74. In 75, 76, Ed and Lorraine Warren came in. And I will be talking about a little bit about Conjuring 2, but I'm going to be talking about that in episode 9. So next week. So it all started really with Robert DeFeo saying that the voices in his head told him to do it, told him to kill his family. And he said that there was a demon and all that stuff, and demonic activity and all that stuff. And the obviously, first thing, I think anything that Robert DeFeo said, I don't believe. I don't believe anything that he said in terms... I believe in the paranormal 100%, but I don't believe what he said. This is the person that murdered his family, and all that stuff. And that was proven. Whether he had help from his sister or not, that's up for debate. I believe she had something to do with it. But you can watch last week's episode if you want to hear about that. So anything that he said, I don't believe. And since the Lutz family, the family that got the house after them, they're the ones that had Ed and Lorraine Warren and all that stuff. And since the Lutz left, which is a whole other thing on itself. I mean, most famously, they left 28 days after they moved in. They said all these things started happening. I believe that's what inspired the book. And so Ed and Lorraine Warren came in. But since that time, there's been some paranormal experiences, but mostly it's been kept under the under wraps and all that stuff, because since I think the mid-90s, the family that owns the house now, they got so tired of people constantly coming by and all that stuff, they basically changed the entire house. The house doesn't look exactly like it did 30, 40 years ago, which is sad, but it is understandable, because when you hear Ocean Avenue or Amityville, you immediately think of the house. So I can understand why they wouldn't want, so much publicity and all that stuff. But yeah, that is it. So next week I will be getting into Conjuring 2, and then what the Lutzes saw, what is proven, what is not proven, get into all the stuff that Ed and Lorraine Warren had during the Amityville case and all that stuff, including it taking a toll on Lorraine Warren and all that stuff. And and then episode 10 will be very different from what I usually do, and I'm actually going to be talking about just the films and the book itself, and talk about the Amityville franchise that probably by next year or in 2 years will pass Godzilla for the most films in a horror franchise ever. So right now Godzilla has 35, 36 films, and Amityville has 32. So yeah. So that is it. So make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys later.